Hello guys, what's up? We're back. So, our topic for today is basically probably the most annoying requirement to fulfill if you are trying to apply for nursing registration overseas toward an English-speaking country. A lot of people even think, and this includes us, that this is harder to obtain than the funds needed to finance such an endeavor. Take note guys, this is not a vlog about how to take the English tests. There's lots of resources on the internet for that, and you can also opt to enroll yourself in a review center so you learn how to. We are just here to talk about AHPRA's English requirement for those who want to be registered nurses here in Australia. We will also discuss who are exempted from taking the English test and what you need to do if your English test results are too outdated. Alright, my name is JC.
And I am Lorraine. And welcome to our YouTube channel. Anyone who wishes to become a registered nurse here in Australia must show proof of their English language ability. So currently, AHPRA's NMBA requires nurses to take an English exam and achieve a certain score to qualify for registration. However, if you are from one of the recognized English-speaking countries, which are USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, and South Africa, wherein English is your primary language, you do not need to take the exam as long as you provide proof of the following. Evidence that you have completed 6 years of primary and secondary education, including at least 2 years between years 7 and 12, and at least 2 years full-time equivalent nursing pre-registration program approved by the nursing regulatory body, all taught and assessed in English. Or evidence of completion of any 5 years full-time continuous education that is a combination of the following: tertiary and secondary education taught and assessed in English, or tertiary and vocational education taught and assessed in English, or combined tertiary, secondary, and vocational education taught and assessed in English, or tertiary education taught and assessed in English. Take note, you must apply for nursing registration within 5 years of you completing your education or course, which is again taught and assessed in English. Otherwise, AHPRA will require you to take the English exam, like everybody else.
There are also other exemption criteria, but generally there will be conditions applied to these exemptions. These exemptions require supervision from a licensed health practitioner and in some cases, an interpreter. Anyway, with this, the board will usually grant you a limited registration only if you are doing the following: performing a demonstration in clinical techniques, undertaking research that involves limited or no patient contact, or undertaking a period of postgraduate study or supervised training while working in an appropriately supported environment that will ensure patient safety is not compromised. NMBA has the right to revoke this exemption anytime and or will ask you to take the English exam.
Yes, and for those who have already taken the English test and have already achieved AHPRA's required score, but your test results are outdated, you may not need to take the English exam again, and we will discuss the circumstances in the later part of the vlog. Let's begin to discuss first the English exams accepted by AHPRA. Currently, there are 4 of them, and they are the following: IELTS, or the International English Language Testing System. This is what JC and I took. The OET, or the Occupational English Test. The PTE, or the Pearson Test of English Academic. Or the TOEFL IBT, Test of English as a Foreign Language, internet-based test. In the past, AHPRA only accepts test results from one sitting, but starting around 2015 or 2016, I think, I'm not entirely sure on when it started, they began accepting test results from 2 maximum sittings, meaning if you haven't achieved your desired score on your first take, you can take another exam within 6 months and combine your scores from the first and second exams, but there are conditions to this.
So let's discuss them now.
For the IELTS, in one sitting, your overall score should be 7, and minimum score of 7 in each of the 4 components of listening, reading, writing, and speaking, or from 2 sittings, provided that within the 6-month period that you did the 2 sittings, your overall score in each sitting is 7. You have achieved 7 in each component across the 2 sittings, and you have not obtained a score below 6.5 in each component. For the PTE, AHPRA requires you to have an overall score of 65 and a minimum score of 65 in each of the 4 components of the test in 1 sitting, or from 2 sittings within the 6-month period, provided that your overall score in each sitting is at least 65, you achieve 65 on each of the components across the 2 sittings, and you don't have a score below 58 in any of the components of the test. For the OET, you must have a minimum score of B in each of the components in 1 sitting, or from 2 sittings, provided that your overall score in each sitting is B and you have achieved a score of B in each component across the 2 sittings, and you do not get a score of below C on any of the components. And finally, for the TOEFL IBT in 1 sitting, minimum total score of 94 and the following minimum scores in each component: 24 for listening, 24 for reading, 27 for writing, and 23 for speaking. Or from 2 sittings, provided that a minimum total score of 94 is achieved in each sitting, and you achieve a minimum score of 24 for listening, 24 for reading, 27 for writing, and 23 for speaking across the 2 sittings, and no score in any of the sections is below 20 for listening, 19 for reading, 24 for writing, and 20 for speaking. Basically, your main goal is to get the minimum scores. That should be enough to get you through AHPRA. Immigration-wise though, it is also nice to aim for higher English scores because it helps with your application for permanent residency. That's a topic for another day though. By the way guys, if you have taken any of the 4 English exams that we have just mentioned, but you are unsure if you have met AHPRA's English standard, share your scores down below in the comments and we can try and help you out.
AHPRA only accepts test results within 2 years before you lodge your application for registration. And this is what we mean by outdated. English test results that are outdated. Your English test results actually do not have an expiry. They can just be outdated. AHPRA doesn't like it when it's more than 2 years old. The only times that they accept results of more than 2 years are the following. You have been on continuous employment as a registered nurse and have commenced within 12 months of the date of the test in one of the recognized countries. So, again, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Republic of Ireland, South Africa, United Kingdom, and United States of America. If you're planning to stop working, you should lodge your application for registration within 12 months of finishing your last period of employment for your English exam results to be considered.
Or you have been enrolled in a board-approved program of study which commenced within 12 months of the date of the test result. You must have undertaken subjects in each semester with no break from study apart from your scheduled holidays or breaks and lodge your application for registration within 12 months of completing the program. So this is what happened to JC. He already achieved AHPRA's requirement back in the Philippines when he took the IELTS in 1 sitting. He got an overall score of 8, imagine, and he had perfect score in reading, like he got 9. Can you believe it, guys? 9 in reading.
I'm a nerd.
I couldn't even imagine how to get a 9. I don't know how to get a 9. I remember I struggled so much in the reading section. So I don't know how you did. How did you do that, JC? What is your advice to our viewers who are struggling in reading like myself?
Be a nerd. No, well, read everything, guys. Try to love English, I guess. When you watch movies, just mimic everything they say and how they say it, and it really helps with making your words flow from your thoughts or your mind. That's it, I guess. I don't know.
So anyway, JC did the IELTS on April 2014, and then we did a bachelor's degree in nursing in July 2014, which finished in August 2014. So basically, his test results was already outdated by AHPRA standards. But because we are enrolled in an approved program of study which is taught and assessed in English, AHPRA didn't require him to take the English exam again. And he was so happy. I remember him really happy that he didn't have to take the English exam because it's really just annoying.
I love English, but I hate English exams which make it really formal. So, yes. I love not taking it again.
I, on the other hand, had to take the English exam again because I only got 6.5 in writing when I first took the exam back in the Philippines.
But then she persevered and worked hard and studied diligently. She took it again, and then she got a 7.5 when she took it. So she was really happy as well that she has passed the English exam, and that's it.
I remember that day when I got the results, I was jumping in joy. I was yelling and jumping. I was so loud. I was so happy and overjoyed. Finally, that feeling.
So guys, we really encourage you to take this seriously because the English exam, I know it's a really annoying hurdle, but basically you kind of need this. Yeah, because if you come here and you become an Australian nurse, you have to know how to speak in English fluently. You don't have to have the Australian accent. If you just speak in English, understand what people say, context clues, and whatever, it makes it easier because you do have to deal with next of kin, so the families of your patients, your patient, your co-workers, and it's much easier if you understand each other, and it makes the work safer. Because, you know, if you don't understand each other, stick a needle here will be stick a needle there, so that's it. Not good. Anyway, yeah, so please try your best. And
Practice,
we know
practice, 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 practice. You can do it.
We've seen a lot of people do it, so you can too.
So if you like this video and find this helpful, please click the like button. And if you have any questions, we will gladly answer them as much as we can. Put your questions down below on the comment section.
And again, don't forget to share with your friends, especially the ones that are thinking about being nurses here in Australia. Share it with friends, family, acquaintances, whatever. Let them see this video and hopefully this helps them. And if you are new to the channel, if you are new to seeing our faces in our videos, please consider subscribing, pressing the subscribe button, and then pressing the notification bell beside that so you will get notified if we have new videos that we release.
Thank you so much for watching.
Buyers!